Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your Saturday is starting off well. We are into February. It is February 3rd, and we're live every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. In studio today, also Brad Sanford with Farmers Insurance. We've got a great show today. Again, we're going to be live on social media, your favorite social media channel from 10 to 11. Welcome your questions, comments, thoughts. 612 294 6949 is how you can join us. 612 294 6949. Interrupt us at any point. If you've got, again, questions, thoughts, a lot to talk about here today. Scott and Mike, Brad, good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Ryan.
Morning, Scott.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We're going to go live here in just a minute or so. Question of the week, non-real estate related. We like to do a fun question every week. This one is, if you could choose anybody to be president, not a political figure, you could pick anyone to be president that you know, who would it be and why? Why being not a long explanation of their political beliefs, but they're honest, they're friendly, they're whatever. So who would you choose? Non-political, somebody that you know, famous, somebody that you know, or an actor or whatever, and why?
Mike, a lot going on in the mortgage world, bud.
Always a lot going on. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the ups and downs this last week, the good, the bad, mainly good though. So I like providing good news. So we're going to talk some mortgage stuff in a little bit as well.
Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. We got some good insurance stuff for folks today.
We do. We're going to start a homeowners informational quiz. So 3 questions a week, and we'll see how that goes.
Homeowners informational quiz. Again, 612 294 6949 is how you can join us at any point throughout the show. Those phone calls and texts come right to us. We're going to talk about the market update in the first segment. A lot
That's money. So you could have got it for that amount less.
Right. Yeah. And you're going to see builders offering interest rate buy downs and stuff like that on all their stuff because let's say it's a $30,000 number. Well, if you get a house for $30,000 less on price, you're saving yourself about $200 a month.
That's right.
Right. If you take that same $30,000 and buy your interest rate down with it, you're saving yourself $600 to $700
That's
a
right.
month. And it's all about monthly payments now. It's really not about the price of the house. It's not about anything else. It's about insurance is higher, milk is higher, gas is higher, everything is higher. So what can I do to get my monthly payment down? Getting that lower interest rate is the number one thing that will drive your payment down the most.
Yeah,
That's
let's talk again. First segment here. We always like to do a mortgage and a real estate update. New listings in the Twin Cities year over year. So new properties for sale up 14%. There were 823 new properties that came on the market. Pending sales increased almost 5% year over year. There were 619 pending sales. And then the inventory is still down. So it's down 2.3%, 6,478 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. The short version, Scott, of that is, again, very, very low inventory, historically low, difficult for buyers to find properties that they want. We've noticed a strong uptick with the spring market, with this warmer weather, that people are out now, multiple offers on properties, a lot of positive momentum compared to last year.
Yeah, no, there is. And if you've been listening to the show, you've heard us say, guys, you've got, if you're a buyer right now, you've got that window where you're going to be able to still go out, look at a house, go back and think about it, write a little bit lower, work some stuff in there. That window is slowly, I mean, if you can think of a window closing, we're at the point where that light is about to get closed out. Doesn't mean you can't buy a house, but the fun part of real estate is, hey, let's go out, let's negotiate and so on. That has disappeared. If it's not completely disappeared, it's almost gone. It's getting really, really busy.
Yeah, here at the first break, before we do break, want to give a shout out. Every week we like to touch on some unique special listings from the Minnesota real estate team. This one, Scott and Mike, a really nice one. Crystal Vetter, awesome agent on the team, has one in West St. Paul, 141 Mendota Road in West St. Paul. It's priced at $1.53 million. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath, almost 3,900 finished square feet. It's got in-ground heated pool, a hot tub, a sport court with lighting, and it's got some unfinished spaces as well, ready for a future wine cellar. There is an indoor sport fitness area to serve additional storage. And this property, it's just minutes, Scott, from the airport, from the Minnesota Vikings training facility, the Dodge Nature Center, and the Village at Mendota Heights with boutique shops, offices, and eateries. Really nice photos. Mike, I know you're looking at them right now. A pretty sweet property.
Yeah, I had to check this thing out. This thing is immaculate. This is very nice.
Yeah, Crystal Vetter's got that one again, 141 Mendota Road West in West St. Paul. Be sure to check out the pictures online. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We're live, we're local, here every Saturday from 10 to 11. We're here to help you with all and any real estate questions, mortgage questions, insurance questions you might have. We'll be back after the break. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Sorry for the a little bit of audio issue. So sometimes I don't know why that happens with the service we use. So apologize for that. But good morning, Ashley. Great to have you with us. Good morning, Kareem, Bill Ebert. Some great agents, a lot of good agents.
Keanu Reeves is listening to us too, it looks like.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is the first one, Scott, they mentioned for the person to be president.
That's a good one.
Oh, I thought he was listening to us. Here.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
Interesting. Brad, do you have anybody come to mind for you?
I thought it was obvious, isn't it, Ryan? I mean, he's the only guy I know that wishes well on everybody. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of president you want, right?
Yeah. Oh, we got.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Ryan O'Neal for president. You know what? You'd win, first of all, and I want to be your manager. I could completely pimp Ryan out.
Scott. How about Mike? Mike would do a good job.
Mike would do a good job.
I don't know if I want that job.
Mr. Mike would do. Mr. Mike would do a good job.
I was thinking about that the other day. Is there anything in the world that could make you take that job? I mean, I wouldn't touch that job. First of all, I guarantee if you break it down per hour, it's the lowest paid. It's the lowest paid per hour job on the planet because you're always working. It's like a real estate agent, except the job you're doing matters.
Yeah, right.
But you're always working.
I'm just shocked and amazed that Stunt Double was number one. Insurance Agent was number one like 2 years ago. So,
Yeah, for most exciting. Yeah.
So how did that drop?
Well, I don't know. It's a great question. I don't
And
know.
you're third?
Yeah.
Mike,
The mortgage guys are always up there. Title is up there next. You know, they're probably up there.
Oh yeah,
That's
Title
our
closers.
world, isn't it?
yeah. Actuary,
Probably number 5.
actuary, title, accounting,
Mike,
insurance.
I know that. Again, we've talked a lot about predictions for interest rates. It seems like they haven't been coming down. They've been kind of stable the last couple months. Any thoughts for that for listeners?
They have been kind of flat since December 14th. You know, there's been a little ups and downs, this and that. But this Fed meeting in January was the thing that we thought would kind of get it back on track where it's going to slide down. And I think that's going to happen. This jobs report, I think, is just a blip on the radar, right? The Fed's meeting and stuff like that is definitely bigger news. We're going to see it trickling down. I mean, we could see rates in the high 5s in the next couple weeks here.
So you do think that?
I do think that.
So would you recommend buying down or would you recommend buying and then refinancing in a year, letting the rates come down?
Me personally, I would say take the rate now, refinance in the future. Don't pay big points right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
It is good to see, though. Again, we went through those statistics. 14% more new listings. That is, I mean, it's a huge issue in our market. It's just lack of inventory, all areas, all price ranges. So that's good to see, guys, that is popping up like that.
Well, I see the median sell price is up 1.3%.
1.3%.
Well, because there's no inventory. Again,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just supply and demand. So
But think about the pushback on that. Think about if we hadn't just gone through the years that we had, if we had 7,500 homes, I mean, our appreciation would be 20% normally. So
Right.
we have started to settle back
yeah,
1.3 a year, 2% a year.
right.
You know, so we have gotten to that nice little, which is what we said is
That's
going to happen.
manageable.
Yeah. Yep. Again, we're going live back on air on WCCO. Thanks for joining us on social media, wherever you're watching. Hope your weekend's going well. We're going back live right now. Don't hesitate to comment, text, or call in. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend is going well. You can text or call anytime. Had our first one this is an interesting one. First question in this spirit, Mike, for you. The question says, I have 3 rental properties and 2 are paid in full, 0 debt on those rental properties. What is the best way to finance a new rental, flip house, or a fixer upper, etc.? Thanks. Love the show, Dennis. Thanks for listening, Dennis. We appreciate the comment.
I would say the best way to do like a flip deal is, being that you have 2 houses paid free and clear, we would just open up a line of credit and use those 2 as collateral. Then you just got to open line of credit. You can grab money from it, buy the place, use it to fix it up, sell it. That's going to be the quickest, easiest way. It's going to be the most economical too, because the closing costs and something like that are not going to be crazy. And here's the other thing too. Now you have an open line of credit that now you can go do another one. Go do one right away, right? Pay that line of credit down to 0. The line is still open and you got it open to do another one. So that's how I would do that. To finance another rental, you could do cash out on those. I mean, do you do cash out on those, or do you just, or do you put the money down and just do the financing on the new one? I mean, that's kind of a toss up. I think that's going to be a personal preference there.
That's
what you want to do.
Not to interrupt you, but that's what I was thinking as you're going through it. I mean, I think it's like any other investor. You want to take a look at, what's your short-term, long-term plan? Like, what are you looking at over the next 2-3 years? What do you want to acquire? Do you want to acquire anything, or are you done, or are you just starting? So a lot of it does depend on where you're at and how you want to have your finances set aside to give you options to do what you want to do.
Mike, just so people can understand, so on a if he has a house paid off and he's doing a home equity, what is the interest rate on that versus he's going and doing a new property and goes to get new financing with you?
I mean, they're probably pretty close to the same. Yeah, he's probably a little bit higher in the home equity line of credit. He's on an investment property. He's probably going to be at around 8 to 8.5% on something like that. If he did like a 30-year fixed on a new one, he's probably closer to 7.5. But the nice thing about the line of credit is that the flexibility is there. You can make interest only payments, so your payments can be lower, but then you can just draw money from it and you can pay it back as you wish. There's no requalifying because the line's going to be open, so that's why if he's going to do flip stuff, open up a line of credit, use those 2 properties that you have paid off free and clear as the collateral on it, and boom, now you can go.
That's right. No,
Scott,
that's great.
we had a comment for President Keanu Reeves was the one that Keanu Reeves, for someone, your question was, who is not political, who should run for president?
Yeah, the question, the non-real estate question this week is who would you want to have as president if you could choose, and it has to be a non-political person. And Keanu Reeves is a good one. I don't know if you've tracked Keanu at all, but he very quietly gives, I think, I don't want to butcher the numbers, but half or 3/4 of everything he makes to charities.
Yeah.
And very quietly. He doesn't want any recognition. Just a great guy. So that's a good one. I will tell you what mine would be.
Yeah.
Mine would be my mother.
Yeah, your mom.
And mother, even though my mother and I disagree 100% politically in our affiliations, but we disagree respectfully. We have that. In fact, my mother is she is, and the reason, because it was why would you choose this person, and then one word for it, I would choose empathy. That she is a very smart, intelligent woman, obviously, and a very good leader, but she's also very empathetic. So yeah. I would choose my mom.
Hey, let's welcome on our friend Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. If you go to mnrealestateshow.com, you can see all of our partners that we as a team have worked with for a number of years. As you can imagine, when you're buying and selling real estate and helping people, they have questions. Who's your insurance person? Who's your mortgage person? Who's your home inspector you recommend? So these are people that we've put together that are honest, helpful, caring, provide a great service at a fair price. And Brad certainly meets all of that. Good morning to you there, young man.
Good morning. How are you?
Nice to see you as always. Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. You've got some fun stuff for listeners today.
I do. I thought about it long and hard, and I decided that I was going to start a homeowners informational quiz.
Ooh.
So for the 3 of you, we will score how everybody does and see how well you know the homeowners insurance.
Homeowners insurance quiz.
So do we get to play to win, or do we just get to play for funsies?
Oh, you are playing for funsies.
Okay.
For funsies. Homeowners, let's do it.
Are we ready for the first question?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
All right. Mike is driving home.
Is this a drinking game?
You can drink, yeah. Your coffee
terrible.
as much as you want.
Okay, I just want to play right. Ryan, he doesn't care about the rules.
Yeah.
You got to play by the rules, right?
Everyone wins.
Okay.
Yes, everyone.
Everyone wins.
Does everybody get a trophy? Is this Ryan's game?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. My nominee for president. Yes. Ryan O'Neill wishes the best for everybody.
You're too kind.
Mike, you are driving home from the show
Mhm.
and you fall asleep at the wheel.
Mm.
You must have been really tired.
Late night.
You wind up sleeping on Ryan's living room couch because your car crashed through his picture window.
Don't look at
And,
me, Ryan. That was back in like 2001.
And you did crash through the window. Keep going.
Yep. And so Ryan's homeowner's policy, what does it cover? A, damage to the car and the house. B, home repair except the picture window. C, nothing because you guys are buddies. Or D, the amount of damage above the driver's collision policy.
Wow. And so that is that's a good one, guys. Do you want us to answer on air, Brad, or
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
do you have thoughts, Mike, originally? Mike's got the first thought.
I'm going with D.
Okay.
It's D.
D. I'll pick B.
Now let's see.
to keep it
I'm going to
interesting.
point something out to Ryan. What is B, Ryan?
I don't remember what
Exactly. Thank you
but we're
very
just
much.
mixing it up.
Thank you very much, everybody watching Love that.
Yeah, we're just mixing it up. We can't all pick the same one, Brad.
Ryan picked the home repair except picture window. No,
All right.
Mike and Scott are correct. Typically, the insurance carried by the person at fault covers the accidents. If the sleepy driver, Mike, had 20,000 in collision coverage and damages worth 30,000, then Ryan's homeowner's insurance policy would pay everything above that, less your deductible.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting. That was a good first one here, Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. Obviously, insurance is a huge portion of the home buying and selling process. We did just a quick question, Brad, maybe before the break. What percent text message that came in? What percent increase are you seeing with premiums across the board?
I have been seeing in the last year, I've been seeing anywhere from 15 to 22%.
Wow.
Yeah,
Year over year?
year over year. The-
15. Okay.
The insurance carriers have really taken a hit in the last year. They've been taking hits years previously. So they really just kind of slowly eke. But with the big hit that we had, all the storms, all the accidents, how much it costs to repair your vehicle? Can you get your vehicle in? I have a client that had an accident in June of last year. He got his car in October to be fixed. So
Wow.
a lot of additional costs.
Hey, we're up against the halfway point here. Before we do break, had one other listing to hit. Jennifer Tischlitter, a great agent with the Minnesota real estate team and Remax Advantage Plus. Mike, she has one in Highland Park over in St. Paul, 1719 Colvin Avenue for $500,000. It is a well cared for 3-bed, 2-bath rambler. It's got room for a 4th bedroom with an egress window, hardwood floors, new windows, newer mechanicals. It's got an oversized 2-car garage, in-ground sprinklers, beautiful perennial gardens, and a 3-season porch in the backyard. It's close to parks, shoppings, restaurants, and again, it's in Highland Park. Very desirable neighborhood here in the Twin Cities. 1719 Colvin Avenue in St. Paul for $500,000. Be sure to check that out online. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show on News Talk 830 WCCO. Good stuff. Good questions, Brad.
You know, I was thinking I would, if you all got them all correct, I'd take all you guys out to lunch. But Ryan already.
I know. We got to mix it up a little bit.
Let's start over.
Let's start over for the
From this point
insurance.
forward.
Yeah, that was, as Scott and I were talking this week, sometimes when you can tell questions are right, like you could kind of tell the way it was written was correct.
Well,
And I don't know what it was in my brain, but what was it about that you know what I mean?
You know, D. Well, it's funny because one of the agents on the team, I was helping her through her continuing ed, and she'd gotten I won't say her name on the on air. I was going to say her name, but I won't say it.
Yeah,
But
please
anyways,
don't.
but she got 50% on her test, and when she was going through them, I said, any question on the real estate exam that says always, must. So
Yeah.
the real estate agent must always do blah blah blah.
Yes.
Or the title company
must always.
or whatever it is.
Right.
Those are typically wrong because there's very few things in real estate that is always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so
so
certain words.
Yeah, certain words like that where you're like, no. And then if you're like me, this is how I got through high school. It's either C or all of the above. So
That's how Scott got
that's how I got
through
through high school. You don't know it, it's C,
C?
or luckily if you get is it D, all of the above, you're like,
Brad,
Yes.
I bet you were a good student in high
I-
school, Brad.
I was a good
Yeah,
student.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Mike, you were too, I bet.
I was a good student.
Mike is diligent, follow up, organized. That's half of school.
oh my
Right.
gosh,
It's
it's
just-
all
it
it's all
is,
of
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So I won't say which kid this is, but we had 5 of them, and she was a straight A student. And so I was in with her teacher going through just all the test scores. And so it was 100% on homework, 110% for, for doing the over stuff, and another 25% bonus
110.
and whatever. So all these things. And then all of a sudden the exam, 58%. And then 110, 120 on exam, 62%. I'm like, she's failing. Yeah, but she gets an A because she had just figured out if you do the homework, you can fail all the exams. It makes no difference. I was like, well, that concerns me moving forward.
Had another text come in again, 612-294-6949. This one's for Brad. Brad, do you expect home insurance to continue to rise at the rates it has been rising?
I've noticed that from Insurance Journal that we are at our peak. So they are expecting carriers to start to level off and come down in the next few years. So 2025, you'll see probably a decline in rates. 2026.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mike, what do you had a thought there? I know.
Well, you know, up here in Minnesota, we actually have it pretty easy because I'm doing a loan for one of my good friends who moved down in Florida a couple years ago to buy a new house down there.
God.
$600,000 house down there in Cape Coral. They're paying $6,800 for the homeowner's insurance, and then
Wow.
they're paying another $4,000 for the flood insurance.
Well, like my dad always used to say,
Don't move to Florida.
if you're buying a house in Cape Coral, you really don't care what the
That's true.
insurance is. No, he did, because I was
Really?
Yeah, well, I was young, and I was looking at a Mustang. I was really young, and I was like, well, I wonder what the miles per gallon are. And he said, Scott, let me tell you something. If you could actually afford buying a Mustang, you wouldn't care what the miles per gallon is.
Yeah.
It's a true statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the smiles per gallon.
Yes, that's right.
If you can drive an SUV, you don't care what
You
the
don't
gas
care what
price
the miles
is.
per gallon.
We are, as we mentioned in the first segment, already kind of into the spring market here. Things are heating up already. Multiple offers on property. Glad to see a little bit more inventory as well. We're getting ready to go back live here. Again, it's News Talk 830 WCCO every Saturday morning. Questions, comments, thoughts are welcome. Ram, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here today. We really appreciate it. I hope your weekend's going well. Good morning and welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, and hope your weekend is going well here in Minnesota. We've got a great show today, fun show. Every weekend, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us by phone or by text. Talking to Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance, doing a little homeowners quiz. The first question, Brad, let's go to number 2.
Scott and Mike, just to recap, Scott and Mike got that one correct.
Thank
Ryan,
you.
Yeah, you're down a little bit, so you got to pick it up here.
All
Yeah,
right.
I wish we could just make a excerpt of what you just said, Scott and Mike, and then we could just play that each time.
Yeah.
So we don't, so we don't have to exert as much energy as we're gonna do. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so you'll just remember.
Yes.
All right, so second one, Scott is deep frying a turkey for his 50th birthday party.
Okay. So 5 years back.
All right.
All right. He wisely stays 25 feet away from the flames. Unfortunately, Scott's house is 10 feet from the fryer pot, and his guests from the Minnesota Real Estate Show get a helping of melted siding with their dinner.
Oh my gosh.
Scott's insurance will pay A, nothing, because again, we know him, right? B, the cost of repairing the siding. C, the cost of repairing the siding and any injuries you received. Or D, the cost of repairing the siding plus the cost of removing hundreds of embarrassing Facebook posts about Scott's debacle.
That's a good one.
That's
Brad.
a good one.
That's a good one.
I
Scott,
would-
what do you think for the first one?
I would say knowing insurance companies.
Okay.
And you know how I've got a little bit of conspiracy thoughts of my own. So knowing insurance companies, I would say that they are going to, I think it's number C. I think they will cover the cost of the siding. They are not going to cover the personal injury.
So C,
So well, whatever
C
one-
was and your injuries.
Okay, not that one. The one that said that they'll cover
Just
the cost
Just
of
the
the siding.
siding. Okay.
Say, Mike,
So
any
B is
So
his
B is
answer.
my answer.
Mike, what do you think on that one, bud?
I'll go with C.
Yeah, I'm going to go with C2 on that one, Brad.
There's only A, B, C, D. There's no C2.
Yeah, there we go. We got it.
The answer is B.
Weird.
Oh,
See,
wow.
like
Scott's
put it on
jumping off.
rewind just so you don't have to say it again.
B?
Scott is right. I'm
So
gonna get
tell us
t-shirts.
about that. Tell us B. Okay, tell us.
So unless Scott's insurance company suspects that he set the fire intentionally, that is. So if you didn't,
Well, there's always
Okay.
that.
10 feet from a house, yes, you might have. Homeowners insurance doesn't cover arson unless Scott can prove someone else set the fire as an act of vandalism.
Interesting.
Scott's medical insurance covers his injuries, and Scott can't insure against being mocked on Facebook for deep frying a turkey so close to his home, although Scott's policy may have an endorsement to protect him against libel, slander, or defamation of character.
Yeah, very interesting. Talking to Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. One comment that came in earlier in the show, a fellow agent who also commented saying that it seems like the dam is breaking a little bit from people that were not buying or selling during COVID because of the lower interest rates. And now more stuff is happening. More people are moving. Life is happening. Scott, when you say that's the case, it's just more time has passed. So more is happening, which is good.
Oh yeah, I mean, mark this on your calendar. This last week, whatever that week was, this last week is when the Dutch boy pulled his thumb out, because it did break. I
Yeah.
can tell you, I've got two different groups of clients in the 350 to 500 range, and we've been looking, and we've written some offers, and we pulled out of one. 2 weeks ago, they had all the time in the world. The last
Yeah.
two offers, 15 offers on it, 25 offers. The same homes 2 weeks ago, we would have had 2-3 days to take our time and write. So it's on us right now.
Yeah, weather makes a big deal, Mike. Obviously, I mean, just the ability to get out quickly, to get out, unusual, with this warmness, but just in general, again, with historically low inventory. Again, if you could, just looking at the Twin Cities, it's I don't know, it's just a very interesting time, Mike.
Well, the weather definitely. Ice Off is going to be earlier this year, right? And our spring market is earlier this
Oh
year.
my goodness,
But
for
Scott, the first comment Scott made, walking in the studio this morning was playtime is over.
Yeah.
Well,
and we've been saying it. It is one of these things. You've been doing this for so long, and I know a lot of the agents that are listening hopefully have had the same conversation with, depending on whose client or what your situation is. But I have 3 clients that are in that 350 to 500 range, and they've been looking now since October. And I've said, guys, we have literally 2 months to find a house. And of course, they've been able to relax. Well, this one wasn't quite right. This one wasn't quite right. Now they'd give anything to have those not quite right ones back.
Yeah.
Because those not quite right ones now have 10 offers on them. And so that's the market that we're in. I mean, and we've said it, the numbers have been consistent. The same amount of people are looking at homes on all of our saved searches as they were 2 years ago. They just weren't pulling the trigger because of the interest rates. Now they are.
Yeah, Kim texted, said, guys, what's up with the rise in rental prices the last few years? What's up with the rise in rental prices, Mike? Any thoughts on that?
like everything else,
Well, it's
everything
easy,
else
yes.
went up.
Well, it's easy. It's easy. You can't afford a house because interest rates are at 8%.
Yeah.
So you can't afford a house. You got to live somewhere. Well, if buying a $300,000 house was, 2 years ago, $1,500 and now it's $4,000. Well, you can't do that, or $3,000 or whatever. So you can't do that. Well, guess what? I don't want to pay $2,500 for a rent, but at least you can afford $2,500.
Well,
And that's the reason.
the other comment that she added, is it greedy landlords?
Yes.
Including with that, Mike.
Hate those greedy landlords.
Mike, any thoughts on that?
I mean, there's some of that out there, I'm sure, called greedflation. I saw a report the other day. It's like our goods that we consume on a daily basis should have lower prices on them, but we're now conditioned to pay higher prices.
Oh yeah, people that don't understand with inflation, inflation goes up, they don't go back down.
Sure.
They trickle a little bit down after it's gone, but they don't go back down.
Yeah. So it's like our goods should be lower, but we're conditioned to pay the higher prices, and now these companies know they can get the higher prices for them, and you'll pay it.
That's right.
So they're going to leave them there. So they're making a little bit extra profit and stuff on that. So I think there's some of that out there, but there's still a market though,
That's right.
right?
The market will always
The
decide.
market will correct itself. If you're too high in the market, then you're going to have vacancies, right? And then how do you fill those vacancies? Well, you
Yeah,
got to drop the rent.
We do have a really just a great partner, a property management partner with our show. Scott Fisick is the owner of the company. It's called Rental Management Guys. They manage properties really all across the Twin Cities. Wonderful company, great people. Scott is just an awesome resource. He sent out a note for any fellow landlords. A really good tool to use is rentometer.com, like speedometer.com, but rentometer.com is one that can help you analyze what is the current rental market for your property. It's a good tool, a really good tool to use. Brad, before the break, we got to hit on number 3 on your quiz. You've got Brad
Number
Sanford,
3.
Farmers Insurance Homeowners Quiz
Well,
for us all.
before we do that, let's go through what's the score.
The score on Rewind is Scott 2, Ryan 0, and Mike 1.
Hey, there we go. There we go. All right, it's the medal round.
So a tree falls on a power line on Ryan's property
Okay.
during a cold snap and causes Ryan's pipes to freeze. Ryan's homeowner's policy covers A, nothing because Ryan chooses to live where your face freezes. B, the cost of the pipes and the plumber. C, the cost of the pipes, the plumber, and the damage caused by the water leak. Or D, the damage caused by the water leak.
Oh man, this is a tough one. You think about that happening though. I mean,
So
yeah.
it's we've determined that it is a tree that is not on Ryan's property,
or
or is it on Ryan's property?
It is on his property.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's on Ryan's property.
Falls-
so his tree
power
falls
line.
on, power line goes down, flooding in the basement. What is it going to cover? It is going to cover all the damage except for the flooding in the basement.
Okay, Mike, any thoughts?
What letter was that?
I think that was that B maybe or D?
The cost of the pipes and the plumber?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Mike, what do you think, bud?
I mean, I was gonna say the whole thing. It's gonna cover the plumber, the pipes, and the water damage.
That's what I'll say too is C.
C.
I'll go
both
with C. What do you think?
D is the correct answer. The damage caused by the water leak alone. Now,
Wow.
in my years of experience doing this, a claims adjuster, they're more likely to pay for the pipes because they burst because they were frozen. They're more likely to pay for them. But insurance typically doesn't cover the pipes themselves. So the cost of replacing them is on you, Ryan. It does, however, cover water damage from the burst pipes, which includes soggy rugs, wrecked wallboard, and mold, among other things. But Ryan, you have to make sure that you address the leak right away, because a claims adjuster is less likely to pay for additional damage because you left it alone than they are to pay for the pipes.
Really good stuff. Again, we're talking to Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. Before the break, had one other listing to hit on. Jan Rolfe with the Minnesota real estate team, Remax Advantage Plus, has a great one in Dayton. There's actually going to be an open house today from 12:30 to 2:30, 14406 Oxbow Lane in Dayton. And it's one level living. It is a single family villa home, Scott. 3-bed, 2-bath, two-car garage. It's got lawn and snow care removal included. It's got a bonus room upstairs that's currently used as an exercise family room. And it's got a second level, also has a large storage room. Jan said, enjoy your coffee, large sunny windows in the four-season porch, step out to the oversized patio. It's a great place to relax and lounge. The barbecue is right outside your door. There are also walking and bike paths leading to the Mississippi River trails. Master bedroom has an ensuite bath, walk-in closet, kitchen with gas range, of course, stainless steel appliances. Again, it was built in 2019. It is a villa-style home, very nicely done, and it's a rare find. It's a single-family home with no shoveling or yard maintenance. Again, 489,000, 14406 Oxbow Lane, which is in Dayton, Minnesota. Today, open house 12:30 to 2:30. Be sure to check that out. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show on News Talk 830 WCCO. It's a nice one. Single level living. Are we seeing more of that, guys?
Well, I'll tell you what, builders, if they would buy, if they could get it, if you can get it zoned, they'd buy as much of that as they possibly can.
Yeah.
We looked for it back in 2017 through like 19, and we could not find one in the entire Twin Cities that we could get our hands on that you could do it in. But it's a graying in Minnesota. You probably got the statistics as well, but I think the average age in Minnesota for the next 10 years is supposed to be like 62 or 61, something like that.
Silver tsunami.
Silver tsunami.
That's what it's called. It's coming.
That's right.
What is villa living?
Villa living is a slab on grade. Well, it can be defined two different ways. Typically, the way most people think of it is slab on grade, one level living, almost like a patio home. But Minnesota, it's not slab on grade. It's like a rambler with a basement. So you never use the basement except when the grandkids come over, but you still want the space, but you live upstairs.
That's what you and I need for our football injuries.
That's
later in
right.
life.
Or an elevator.
Yeah.
Hey,
You wonder-
go ahead.
I was just going to say, building wise, so much talk of building, of new construction, have friends that work with a lot of the great builders here in the Twin Cities. Are we going to see more new construction, guys? Are we going to see more homes being built? Obviously, inventory is probably the number one issue right now. Will we see more of it? Mike, what do you think?
I don't think we'll see more of it this year. It's going to be the same it has been for the last few years.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it won't be the same as it was if you go back 2020, was it 2021, which was like triple what it was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to go back to those numbers, but I think we're going to stable out.
And the reason why is because the price points that builders have to be in
That's
to
right.
actually make a profit. You can't build a $400,000 house and actually have it make sense numbers wise. They're not going to build a first time home buyer house, right? So they're building move up price point homes. And how many people with rates in the economy where it is can afford those move up homes? It's less now. Back in the COVID days when rates were 2.5%, 3%, a lot more people could afford that
Sure.
upper level house. That's why they built a lot more. So
what can we do? What can be done to change that? Do you think? Do you
I
have any
think, well, I
thoughts?
think zoning on, not multi-level or not multi-unit, but higher density areas. So
Sure.
for example, we know that Rambler Living is going to be the most sought after area. Well, those people have money. So, they can pay $450 comfortably for a slab on grade townhome, but they don't need to be 6. It's like
Sure.
you can still make a really good profit, build a very nice 450,000 slab on grade Rambler. And if zoning would loosen up and make more of that available, I think that's the product moving forward. Because single family home, you almost, if you're paying 300 grand for a lot, I mean, you almost have to put an 800 plus house on it, even for it to make any sense at all.
So again, just for the builders, obviously to be able to make enough money to do the project. It is amazing what goes into a new construction home. We have one in our neighborhood that I just feel like the project's been going on forever. It's a smaller custom build. And I think if you haven't built recently, and again, the national builders have maybe a little more dialed in process and timeline, but it's a long process and timeline getting supplies and the actual construction. And I mean, this project seems like it's been going on for a couple years in our neighborhood, guys.
the more custom the home, right, the more changes you make, the longer it's going to take. I work with a builder. It's like the biggest two-story, they make a bunch of changes and stuff. That's going to take 10 to 12 months. Well, if I limited their choices where they just picked A, B, or C for everything, you could have it done in 5-6 months.
Yeah, now we're back on air. We should talk about let's talk about new construction on whether you make a
Welcome. We're going back live on News Talk 830. Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. Had a question come in. Please tell me what qualifies a room as a bedroom. Does it need a closet? How big does it have to be? Thanks. Great show. Interesting legal bedroom requirement. According to the Dictionary of Real Estate Appraisal, there is no national standard that exists on what constitutes a room. There is no definition of a bedroom in that source. The legal definition of a bedroom is determined by the municipality. Your best bet is always to go to the city website and to look specifically, for example, if you're looking in Andover, what do they say about that? That's an interesting thing, guys, that there's literally in real estate appraisal world, no national standard on what's a bedroom.
Well, and that's I think there's two things. One is I think that's more of a city requirement on what is required a bedroom. I think MLS it calls a bedroom. I'm going to look. I think it's 8 by 9, 7 by 9, something like that. And you do not have to have a closet. You have to have an egress window. I think that's the only definition in MLS, but like you said, the cities will define it differently.
Yeah, really good question. Thanks, Jerry, for listening to the show. We appreciate it. Interesting one.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. One question we got wrong last week. Mike and I talked about it off air. A question came in. I forgot what the exact question was, but it had something to do with purchasing after a bankruptcy, not foreclosure. And I think we had some of our numbers off. Maybe talk about what that was.
Yeah. So if you've had a previous bankruptcy, each loan has a different weighting requirement. So on an FHA loan, if it was a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you actually qualify for an FHA loan 1 year after you have started making payments, because the Chapter 13 is the payment plan bankruptcy. It's not the one that wipes everything out. So it's 1 year after a Chapter 13 on FHA. It's 2 years on a Chapter 7. If you're looking at conventional loans, it's on a Chapter 13. It's 4 years after dismissal. And then if it's a Chapter 7, it's also 4 years there after the discharge of the Chapter 7.
Yeah. So those are on bankruptcies. On foreclosures, it's 7 years.
7 years on conventional after a
Three.
foreclosure.
Yep.
Yep. 3 years on FHA, 2 years on VA, 3 years on USDA.
Wanted to give a shout out again, Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance. Best way for people to reach you. And before you share that, I did want to give a nice shout out to Brad this week. Just really went above and beyond. Has awesome customer service. Was helping an elderly friend of mine with some car insurance. Really just spent a very good amount of time on it, going above and beyond from a customer service standpoint. So I encourage you to reach out to Brad if you're looking for just a great, caring insurance agent. But Brad, best way for people to catch you.
Thank you, sir. The Minnesota Real Estate Show.com and my phone number 651-690-2076. Like to say happy birthday to my father next Saturday, and then happy anniversary to the wife next week.
And
Wow.
if you could pick anybody to be president.
Anyone to be president?
Ryan.
Oh, that's right.
O'Neal,
That's
yes.
right. You picked O'Neal.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like Travis Kelce on that commercial. Yeah, you could pick him if you want. Everybody picks him. You could pick me since I was the one with the question.
I'll change Scott Woolmer.
Yes, I wouldn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't make it through the vetting process, unfortunately.
The vetting process, indeed. And we've got 2 great agents on the team, Brian Gale and Angie Oster, both with birthdays today. Happy birthday to both of you. Thanks for all you do for our team. Last thought, Mike, for folks as we head home.
Don't let him do that. He has to give the president one. He's going to try to get out of it. Right.
Yeah.
You want me to give my
Michael
vote for president? So two people, actually, my father and my stepfather would both be great presidents. I would have to lean towards my stepfather just because he's more passionate in that.
Okay.
Like my dad would be like me, like he could do a good job, but he wouldn't be passionate about it. Like my stepfather would be like, I want to do this and I'm going to make things right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd be more passionate about it. So my stepdad is who I'd pick.
I think I'd pick my mom too. My dear mother. Mom, yeah, very good listener. She's good at working with both sides of the aisle, mediating, listening, caring, smart, similar to your dear mother.
Oh God, I was just thinking if they were president and vice president, that could be the sweetest White House that has ever existed. I would almost put bets that the over/under would be the sweetest,
But yet firm.
but
as
very
well.
very firm.
Still firm,
Yes.
not soft.
No.
That's important. But hey, guys, fun show today. Brad Sanford, Farmers Insurance, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, the man, the myth, and the legend himself. Hey, it's been a fun show. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, reach out anytime. We are here to help you. We've got a top agent on the Minnesota real estate team. Wherever you're picking up the show right now, enjoy the weekend, have some fun, and enjoy the nice weather. Take care. Fun show. Good question, Scott. Hey, we'll be back next week, guys, right?
Yeah.
No football this weekend.
I know.
Football.
God,
What?
it's
No
It's
football.
like
Ugh.
it's like I'm scratching.
Hey, before we leave, real quick, who wins the Super Bowl and score? Come on, we got to go for it. Anybody who wants to share.
I got Kansas City at 5.5 to 1. So
Okay, Kansas City. We got one for Kansas City. I'm going to say the Chiefs win 31-20.
wow.
I say Chiefs. Mike?
I want the 49ers to win,
Yeah,
but
You
I
actually
think
said
that
that?
I think the Chiefs will win though.
yeah.
So if we're going who we think will win, I think it's going to be the Chiefs, and it's probably going to be, I think it's going to be 27-24.
Ooh, close.
Yeah, I've got to go the opposite direction. I want the Chiefs to win because a lot of the friends and people on the team are Chiefs fans, but I just think San Francisco's got too much. I think it's going to be 30-27
Close.
San Fran.
Hey, enjoy the weekend.
Well,
Thanks
what's
for-
your pick?
Chiefs. I
Chiefs.
said
Oh,
Chiefs.
that's right.
Yep, Chiefs 31-20. I think it's not going to be as close as people think. I think the Chiefs are, I don't know, I think it's their year.